We're live. We are live. I don't know if anybody's watching, but can I tell you I got a hole in my fucking shirt today? How does that happen? How? I'm so pissed about it. It's like a perfectly round hole. It's pretty much how my day has been. Not true. My day has been fine. Let's get off to what we need to talk about today, okay? CrossFit. God, CrossFit has been my best friend for so long. So, okay, what I'm going to talk about today is my own kind of journey with CrossFit, why I kind of do less of it nowadays, and then I'm going to talk about why I think every woman should try CrossFit at some point. Yes, Melissa says you should definitely get frozen yogurt. Yeah, that's what I need in my life. I told my husband earlier this week, I'm like, I think we're getting close to the point where I need frozen yogurt for dinner. Because sometimes you just fucking need that. And we go and I get some coconut in it and some peanut butter. Oh, it's just so good. Okay, so I'm going to talk about CrossFit and that whole journey and answer some of the questions you guys had on Instagram stories. So let's do it. Let's kick it off. CrossFit. I met CrossFit back in college. It was like 2009, 2010. I had a boyfriend at the time who was doing workouts from CrossFit.com. And he would work out for seriously 20 minutes. He'd be soaking wet in sweat and he'd be jacked as fuck. And then I'd be on the fucking Stairmaster for 2 hours and nothing was happening. So I'm like, hey, can you tell me about this whole CrossFit thing? So he started telling me about it. I tried to do my first 10 burpees and was quickly introduced to hell. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm really out of fucking shape. If I can't even do 10 burpees while this guy next to me is doing 45, there's an issue. So I started reading CrossFit.com, looking through everything, finding out about the movements and reading about overhead squats and handstand push-ups. And I'm like, shit, I can't do any of this. So I started teaching myself how to work out. I started doing push-ups on my knees, pull-ups on the assisted pull-up machine, dips on the assisted dip machine or pull-up machine, whatever. I started jumping rope for 20 minutes every day, and I slowly became a little bit more fit, a little stronger, and I got more confidence to try some of the Olympic lifts. And that was really scary. I'm sure any of you out there who have tried Olympic lifts at some point, you know that they're quite intimidating seeing them and then trying them for the first time, especially when you have no coaching. So I was just reading a bunch of things online and watching a ton of YouTube videos, and that's how I was progressively getting better at these movements and just learning more and more. So once I was probably doing CrossFit on my own at just the college recreation center and this other gym that I went to. And I finally decided I wanted to join a CrossFit gym. And you have to, as you know, if you've done CrossFit, it's like $150 a month or so. And this is pretty common at most studio gyms that I see at this point, whether you're doing boxing or bar or whatever, it's pretty normal. But when you're a college student, that's a hell of a lot of money. And so what did I do? I stopped drinking and I stopped going out, and I was able to use that money to go to a CrossFit gym. So when people ask, what do they do if they can't afford a CrossFit gym? I still made it work, and I was making absolutely no money. Well, not absolutely no money. I was working, but I was not making very much money at all. But so I made it work. I joined a CrossFit gym, and then I had a coach finally coaching me, and it was so cool. And then I was like, hell, I want to compete in CrossFit. I had volunteered at a sectionals. This is way back in the day when CrossFit still had sectionals before regionals, before the games. It was like another step. So I went and volunteered at sectionals, and I saw all these badass motherfucking women, all shapes and sizes, all supporting each other. And I had been, as a woman, my entire life was filled with women hating me hating women, and always us being against each other. And then I was finally around, especially in the gym, like in a normal rec center, I was like, why are these girls giving me dirty looks? It's just like normal bullshit women go through. And I was around these women, at the sectionals who all supported each other. And I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be part of that. And so I started working out all the time. I asked the gym that I was going to at the time in my college town, I asked if I could come do 2-a-days, and they would let me join a class, and then later they would let me lift. And I just started doing all kinds of different lifts and working out all the time. And I did my first competition and was hooked and loved it. And then I started competing. And so at this point, I was working out multiple times a day, and I really had no idea how to take care of myself. I didn't have any good coaches who were walking me through what I needed to do for rest, and how to actually take care of my body in the best way. I think coaches have gotten much, much better as time has gone on, and people just know more. But so I was competing in CrossFit. I competed in 2 regionals in 2011 and 2012. I think I placed 11th in 2011 and 8th in 2012. And then after 2012, so at this point, I was working out so much that I had put on 30 pounds in a year from 2011 to 2012. And I had put on a ton of extra weight because I had to lift fucking heavy. And if you want to snatch 150 pounds or more over your head, you have to put on more weight for your body. And for me, I had put on more weight. And I was also going down the path of injuries at this point because I wasn't taking enough rest days. I was working out 7 days a week, multiple times a day. So however many workouts that was. And I wasn't taking enough rest. And then I hyperextended my elbow when I was doing an overhead squat, when I was trying to get a 5-rep max. And it was like 160 pounds. And it was the most I had overhead squatted for a 5-rep max. And so that was pretty fucking hard, and hyperextended my elbow. And then at one point, I tore some stuff in my shoulders. So I finally said, what the fuck am I doing this for? CrossFit has gotten so crazy. The weights have gotten so heavy and the workouts have gotten so hard. What am I doing this for? What is my end goal? My end goal is to feel good naked and to be able to get off the toilet when I'm 90 years old by myself. Those are my end goals. Feel good and be able to live a healthier life long term. And competing in CrossFit wasn't doing it for me. And one of the main things I see, and I want to talk about right here and now, with CrossFit, people are always saying, I hear it's super high injury and I'm scared to start because I'm scared I'm going to injure myself. CrossFit doesn't injure you. Jesus. CrossFit doesn't injure you. You injure yourself. Your ego injures yourself. The only time I've been injured is because my ego got in the way. I didn't listen to my body. And so I always recommend when people are starting off with CrossFit, even when you're a year into CrossFit, maybe 2 years, going lighter and taking, feel good and get off the toilet, totally needed things. But the only thing that ever got me injured was my ego at the end of the day. I was trying to push it too hard. And people who are coming into the CrossFit space, you have to know your limits. And that's sometimes hard to figure out. But starting super light and dialing in your form is so important. You have to do that because, yes, you will injure yourself if you're not taking care of yourself. But the thing is, if you go to Orange Theory and you're doing sprints all day long, every day on the treadmill, you're most likely going to injure your hip or injure your knees. It's just not talked about as widely. And it's most of the same thing with any type of workout you're doing. And if you're doing it all the time, you're going to injure yourself. You have to leave your ego at the door and you have to take adequate rest. And I was not doing either of those, and that's why I injured myself. So if you're nervous to go into CrossFit because you're scared you're going to injure yourself, remind yourself to leave your fucking ego at the door, and if you're a super competitive person, get comfortable with not being the best all the time. Get over it. It's fine. You'll be okay. You're still going to get just as good a workout in, even if you're not RXing doing the workout prescribed. I promise you, okay? People got to stop worrying about that. No matter what sport you're doing, if you're doing it on a regular basis and you're pushing yourself to the extreme, you're going to injure yourself if you're not taking care of yourself. Fucking egos, man. We can't get rid of them. So we can. Okay, so after I did CrossFit and I competed in CrossFit, I said, finally, no more. I'm not going to compete anymore, and I'm not going to go heavy on weights anymore. I'm just not doing this. My body doesn't need it. And so I started scaling the weights back, and I quickly started losing strength. If you're not, for my body, if you're not working on strength on a daily basis, you're going to lose strength. And so my thrusters were 105 pounds. Then they went down to 95 pounds, then 85 pounds, then 75 pounds, then 65, and now 55 even feels heavy. And I'm much weaker than I used to be, but I don't care. I'm not injured. I don't feel like shit. I don't wake up aching and feeling awful every single day. I have a good workout and I move on with my day. And so I learned to drop my ego, and it was really hard because I had people who expected me to go heavier and faster in workouts, and I didn't want to do that anymore. And I got a lot of shit for it, and that fucking sucked because I was also a CrossFit coach and felt like I wasn't a good coach for going lighter, but it was just something I had to work on with my own ego, always back to the ego. And yeah, I started dropping down. I started doing different things. I started doing Orange Theory, but back to kind of injuries. I felt like when I was doing Orange Theory, these high intensity workouts, because they would be super high intensity for an hour, I'm like, I don't need to go high intensity for an hour. I could go high intensity for 8 minutes and get a great workout in and not hurt my body as much as Orange Theory kind of took a wreck on me. So I didn't do Orange Theory anymore. And then I kind of dabbled in doing CrossFit 5 days a week. And then I would do my own thing. And over 3 years, I lost those 30 pounds that I put on from competing in CrossFit. It took me a good amount of time. I had to get through my adrenal fatigue. I had to rest, and then I was able to get my body back to baseline, back to where it wanted to be. So it took 3 years to lose 30 pounds. It wasn't this quick fix thing that everybody's always looking for. Oh my God, I had a diet and I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. No, it was 3 fucking years to get back to where my body felt like it was supposed to be at. So, let's see. Some of the things that I don't do now that I do workouts on my own. So I took a step back from CrossFit, and the main reason I started doing that was because I feel like CrossFit lacks in some lateral and unilateral movements. CrossFit usually is the same movements depending on the CrossFit gym you're at. So I just felt like I was just missing some pieces, and I wanted to see physical results that CrossFit couldn't give me. So doing a lot of single leg things, a lot of things to build up my quads in different ways, not just strength wise, but physique wise. And same with butt workouts, glute workouts, hamstring, things that I couldn't get from CrossFit. And I decided I was going to take some movements out of the game completely for me and my body. I didn't want to squat anymore, especially underweight, because the way my hip joint fits in, it doesn't like squatting to full depth, and it doesn't like squatting under a ton of weight. And I was doing that for years and it never felt comfortable. And so I finally stopped doing that. And I started doing, some single leg squats, some step downs, some step ups, some lunges. And I've been able to really build strength in one of my legs that was lacking some of that flexibility and mobility and strength. And I've seen a ton of improvements on the outside and on the inside. So I've seen changes in my body that I couldn't get in the 8 years of CrossFit I was doing. And then I can add in CrossFit workouts whenever I feel like it, if I like the workout. So things that I cut out altogether that I used to do in CrossFit, I don't do push-ups on my toes anymore because I have implants. and they're under the muscle, it hurts when they flex. And I know everybody's different with that. But I know everything you're talking about is CrossFit. Okay, whatever. Not at my gym. So with my implants, when they flex, when you're doing push-ups, it just hurts after 10 or so. And so I just stopped doing push-ups on my toes. I do my push-ups on my knees. I don't need to like show that I can do push-ups on my toes. I really don't care. I don't do dips, especially ring dips. It feels like my implants are gonna pop out of my fucking armpit. So I don't do those. I don't do muscle ups anymore because I don't care and don't see the point. I don't like doing thrusters because I think it's really harsh on the body, and I can get those same benefits of thrusters and different movements without it being as tough on the body. So those are some of the things that I've cut out altogether, and I felt better than ever. And I know this all is like, oh, are you bashing CrossFit? No fucking way. My CrossFit gym is my favorite place to go to. If I'm ever having a bad day, I go to my CrossFit gym and see the amazing people there. It's one of the best workouts you can do. I truly think that. I think a lot of people see a CrossFit workout and they're like 12 minutes. You're saying you can get an amazing workout in 12 minutes. Fuck yeah, 12 minutes is a long goddamn time, especially when you're doing a CrossFit workout. And that's what I love about CrossFit is everything is so short, to the point, you're done and over with, and you feel amazing, and your body will change really fast. And so one of the questions I got was, I have to burp. Oh, I want to take some of these questions. Is this like food? Is what you're doing what works specifically for you? I mean, I think isn't any workout that you're doing specifically, you got to decide if it's for you or not. So yes, what I'm doing right now is specifically for me. Let's see. Okay, so someone asked, are you going to get good results from CrossFit? And hell yes, you'll get good results from CrossFit. Before, what I was doing cardio constantly before I started CrossFit. And once I started CrossFit and nailed in my diet, don't forget, diet is so fucking important. But I nailed in my diet and did CrossFit. My body changed so fast. It was crazy. It was just, I couldn't believe I was putting on muscle in my upper body and my lower body and my core. Like my body changed so quickly. So it is such a beneficial workout in so many different ways. But one of the reasons I think all women should do CrossFit is because it gave me so much confidence in so many different ways. Not only was I able to walk into any gym and feel confident because I knew how to do a snatch and a clean and just pick up a barbell in general. It just gave me so much confidence to walk in the gym, but also outside in the world, I found myself looking at people in the eye more often and smiling at random people on the street. It just gave me this overall confidence that is so fucking cool. And I can totally relate it back to CrossFit and of course aging, but CrossFit gave me so many tools to implement in my own life. So every day that I would go into this gym and I would feel like I couldn't do anything. I'm like, I can't do that workout. I can't do that weight. And then I would snatch a barbell weight that I had never snatched before. That gave me this overwhelming drive that I wanted to put into my day-to-day life. It was just so fucking cool. Like CrossFit is so incredibly life-changing for so many people. And it made me work hard in the gym and then work hard outside of the gym. And before I would go out for a run and I would start walking pretty quickly because I was like, oh, this is too hard. I can't do this, and just walk. And now I know I can push through it. And that means when something in my life comes up and I feel like I can't push through it, I totally can. It is awesome. And I think every woman should do it. And I know it feels so intimidating when you walk into a gym, especially as a female, but any male as well. You walk into a gym and I'm like picturing my gym with some of these like tatted out motherfuckers screaming as they're like snatching a barbell and they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, like so intense. I get it. But then once you start talking to these people and meeting them, they're exactly like you. They're just feeling so pumped and invigorated and excited to experience something so cool. And that's what CrossFit gives you. It's just so cool. Let's see. I'm going back on my computer with some of your questions. I don't know if you're yelling at me for my language, Patrick. Okay, so can anyone start CrossFit? That was a question I got. Duh. Anybody can start CrossFit, no matter who you are, no matter what age you're at, no matter what level you're at in your fitness. I promise you can start CrossFit. So if you're looking for a CrossFit gym, you want to make sure two things. They have an on-ramp program or some sort of startup program so you can learn all the basics before. If they just have you join their gym and throw you into the fire, find a new gym, because you deserve to learn the basics beforehand and feel comfortable before you walk into a class. And that's really what's going to keep you safe long term. So make sure that you go find a gym that has some sort of startup program before you join into classes. And number two, make sure it's a gym you feel comfortable in, that the people you connect with, they're nice, they're not cliquey, because I know there's tons of gyms that have different types of cliques. So just because you didn't feel just because you didn't feel good at one gym doesn't mean you won't feel comfortable at another. Every gym is so incredibly different. So an on-ramp program, and make sure you like the people you're around, because you're going to be spending more time with them, and that's important. These are going to be your friends. But any person can start up. If you have great coaches, the coaches will make sure that you can do any sort of modification. So not only can you modify the reps, you can modify the weight, and you can modify the movements. You can modify everything. And if you have a great coach, which so many gyms do, you are going to be able to get those modifications really easily. And someone asked, is it annoying when people ask for modifications? Absolutely not. We want you to be comfortable. And I say this because I coached for 6 years. We want you to be comfortable and to be happy every time you work out and to come back. And if you're trying to do this workout that totally intimidates you, we know you're not going to come back. And that's not the point of CrossFit and joining a gym. So can you lose weight doing CrossFit? That was another question. You can lose weight pretty much doing anything as long as your diet is in check. So yes, you can lose weight from CrossFit because you're going to build muscle, which ramps up your metabolism, which helps you burn fat and lose weight. But what's going to help you lose weight is getting your diet in check, period. How do you feel about the evolution of CrossFit? So CrossFit has changed a ton since I was 20. I was just 20 or 21. And I don't love how it's changed. It's gone to extremes, extremely heavy weight, extremely high reps. And I don't love that, but I still think that's CrossFit as a whole. And every CrossFit gym is so different. And so just because CrossFit.com is going crazy heavy doesn't mean your CrossFit gym will. Every CrossFit gym is so completely different. So find a gym that works for you and makes you feel comfortable. So I don't love the evolution of CrossFit now. It's just so intense. Let's see. Oh yeah, I talked about that. Oh my gosh. This is like the main topic. Women always say, I don't want to bulk by doing CrossFit. That's like bulking and CrossFit. So here's what you have to think about. People think about that because you are looking at social media where you see CrossFit women in short shorts and sports bras. And most likely those women who are posting those videos and those photos are competitors. So their main goal is to lift extremely heavy and to be one of the most fittest people there. And you have to have a lot of muscle at the CrossFit Games to make it to the CrossFit Games and to do well at the games. So they're working out multiple times a day. You doing a 55-pound thruster will not get you crazy bulky like you're seeing this bulk. I don't even know what bulk is. Like every woman's body is completely different online. But you're not going to see this extreme weight gain from this 55-pound thruster you're doing. I promise you. When you get into these 150, 170, 200-pound snatches, yeah, you're going to have more muscle and you're going to be a little bit thicker because you have more muscle. I promise you that. But if your diet is in check, then you're not going to have that issue. So a lot of people talk about how they put on weight with CrossFit, and it's often goes back to their diet, not just the workouts itself. For me, I don't like squatting that much. I don't like how my legs feel when I'm squatting on a regular basis. And I don't like that in CrossFit, and because of how my legs shape out when I'm doing squats on a regular basis, they're better as step ups, single leg, lightweight. But that's just me personally. I've seen these beautiful quads online who do CrossFit full time. So everybody's body is different. But when you think of bulking, think about your diet. Think about how many drinks you're having per week. That's probably it. Okay, it's probably the alcohol. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Do you guys have any, let's see. I'm going to see a couple questions here. Did you have any macro preferences when you were doing CrossFit regular? I don't know what a macro preference is. I've never done macros, so I cannot answer that. I've never done macros, and I don't do macros now, so I can't say that for sure. Do you allow yourself wine or drinks? So I don't personally like alcohol that much. I have just never really liked it. I think wine tastes like vinegar. I don't really see the point. Red wine makes my mouth so dry. It's like, why not drink water? You're making me more parched. So no, I don't drink a ton. When I go on vacation, I love me a good margarita, only a good one. But I just don't drink that much because it makes me super bloated. It makes me depressed. And I don't really like myself when I drink. So, and I black out really easily. It's not a cute trait. Did you work with any pregnant women while coaching CrossFit? Yes, I did. Probably worked with 10 to 15 pregnant women throughout my 6 years. We have a younger gym, so we didn't have as many, and in the city, so we didn't have as many pregnant women. But yes, I did. Did you feel like you needed more carbs and fat on your CrossFit days? Yes. When you're doing high intensity, I definitely felt like I needed more carbohydrates. So yes, I did. Yeah, save your calories for desserts. That's how I am. I much rather eat a dessert than drink a cocktail. Much rather. Let's see if I missed any questions, other than the guy yelling at me for my potty mouth. So Brianna asked, why don't you do full CrossFit anymore? And I kind of touched on that a little bit at the beginning. But I just felt like I needed a break. I needed to let my body heal a little bit because I just have some flare-ups in my traps, and some of the movements I just couldn't really do, and I didn't want to modify quite as much. And so I wanted to create my own workouts, and then I started sharing my own workouts with you guys, and so I started doing my own workouts more and more. But I still go to CrossFit probably once a month. Oh my God, my armpits are so sweaty. I keep covering them up. Why do I get so sweaty on these videos? But yeah, I still do CrossFit. I still love CrossFit. Oh God, gross. Okay. Do you have any suggestions for cutting down abdominal fat? That's my biggest issue. Can CrossFit help with this? Diet will help with that. Diet. Clean diet, clean nutrition, staying away from alcohol, eating adequate amount of food, and that's about it. Sure, exercise can totally help with revving up your metabolism, but it's all back to food. It really is. Any recommendations for finding a good CrossFit box? Had a bad experience with a box not focusing on form and got some injuries. The only way you can find new gyms is trying new gyms. You just gotta try a couple. I mean, so many places let you drop in for your first time for free. And so go in, talk to the coaches, meet the people, watch some of the form within the class. You can always get there early and watch the class before you and see how the form is within that gym. But more than anything, just start talking to the coaches and see what they're like. But go to a bunch of different gyms. Try it out for free. See what you think. You might have to try 5 or 6 before you find one. I worked at, I think it's 7 CrossFit gyms, 5 at one time at one point. And then I've been at my gym for 7 years now. But obviously I had gone to a bunch of different gyms and had to experience a ton of different gyms to find the one that worked for me. So just go to a bunch of different ones, try it out, and make sure they have an on-ramp class, even if you've done CrossFit before. How do you motivate yourself to go to the gym when you don't feel up to it? So for me at this point, if I don't feel up to it, it's most likely because I need a rest day. That's my body telling me. Like today, I planned to work out. My body's like, fuck no, bitch. And so I listen to it. If I know it's in the past, here's the thing. You just got to learn to motivate yourself. You got to tell yourself that you are worth it and you deserve it, and you just got to do it. For me, I finally had that moment when I was in college and I said, fuck this. I'm sick of my goddamn excuses, because all I did my entire life was make up excuses because I was used to that in my own experiences. And I finally said, fuck this. I'm going to work out and I'm going to do this. And I stuck with it. And I think finding something you like is really helpful. And that was what CrossFit was for me. I found CrossFit and I wanted to go every day. I wanted to get better. I wanted to get better form. I wanted to get better at double unders. I wanted all these different things, and that helped motivate me. But at the end of the day, you got to motivate yourself, and you can totally do it. I did it. Anybody can do it. I promise you that. Would you recommend Orange Theory or CrossFit for a complete beginner whose main goal is weight loss? I don't personally love Orange Theory. I think in my own personal experience, I've had better coaching at CrossFit, and I don't think it's as hard on the body long term, because Orange Theory is just super high intensity the entire time and the body can't fully recover a lot. So that is just my own opinion. I would go for CrossFit because I've been doing CrossFit for 9 years. So that's my favorite. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how to pronounce this word because I haven't dealt this myself. What exercise do you recommend for someone who has diastasis? Yep, recti. I recommend checking out BirthFit. BirthFit. They are amazing. I love them. I haven't worked with them myself, but I know so many people who have, and that they would be a great person or great company to go to. So look up them, BirthFit. How do you structure your own workouts? Certain focus each day. So each week I lay out my workouts for the week. So I usually do an upper body workout, then a lower body, then a high intensity such as a cardio day. And then again, it's an upper body, a lower body, and then a high intensity. And that's kind of how I break it up. And then I just start thinking through what I want to work on. So for the upper body, I want to get back movements in. I want to get biceps. I want to get triceps. I want to get that whole shoulders, the entire upper body. And I start structuring my workouts that way. And then I've been working out for a long ass time now. And so I have this huge list and ideas of different movements. And so then I start kind of piecing them together that way. Oh yes, I've noticed that your workouts you post seem to be block style rather than finishing one exercise and all the reps. Is it just a preference or is there a benefit? I like blocking 2 or 3 movements together, so doing supersets or trisets. I just personally like those better than doing one movement 4 different rounds, resting a minute in between. Not that I don't ever do that. I just don't like that as much. I just get super bored. I like going from movement to movement. It keeps me entertained and wanting to do it. Let's see. How do you make yourself go work out after not working out for 2 years? You make the decision and you walk in the gym. and you do it. Maybe find a friend so it keeps you accountable. Maybe find a gym, sign up for a class, and so you've paid for it, so it'll make you go in there. But just walk in the gym. That's the only way you're going to get started. Let's see. Is it better to eat balanced meals or focus carbs around workouts and eat primarily fat and protein the rest of the day? Oh man, I don't think that hard about things, honestly. I just eat whatever I'm feeling. If I feel like I'm having if I want some carbs, I eat some carbs. If I'm not feeling like it, I don't. But I just don't really think that much about it, me personally, because that would make my life not so much fun. So I don't think much about it. I'm sure there are plenty of people who will tell you to eat more higher carb on those workout days. I'm not going to be that person. I think your body, say you're starting your period, you're going to need more carbs then. And just because you didn't work out that day, should you not eat carbs? Like, nah, man. So I think listen to your body and what it wants, mix it up. Sometimes have a higher carb meal, sometimes don't. I think balance that way is best. Favorite movement and workout. I don't have a favorite workout. My favorite CrossFit movement is double unders. Double unders are the best. Do you still do cleans? Yes. I love a good power clean. Squat clean, not so much. Pass. Power clean, I'm into it. Snatch, into it. Do you have any secret tips for getting double unders? There's no secret tip. It's just doing them all the fucking time. When I wanted to learn how to do double unders, I would set out 20 minutes after my workout every single day to practice jumping rope. 20 minutes every single day. Put those headphones in, jam out, and I would practice the entire 20 minutes. And it sucked. And I got double unders. I practiced single, single, double, single, single, double, single, double, single, double, until I finally got my double unders in a row. But it's practice, 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 practice. Where's Jackson's sweet puppy face? He's sleeping on the couch. I can hear him snoring. We'll see if I can get him before I end the podcast. Let's see. How often do you do CrossFit nowadays? I'm usually 1 to 2 times a month. That's usually where I'm at. Maybe sometimes a little bit more. What do your cheat days look like? So I remember when I had a really bad relationship with food, I would always talk about cheat days. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for my cheat day. I'm gonna get Oreos and I'm gonna dip them in milk. And while I'm dipping them in milk, I'm gonna eat pizza. And then I'm gonna make this sandwich. And then I'm gonna make cinnamon toast. It was just like a fucking hot mess. And so it was a very unhealthy relationship with food. It wasn't until I cut the cheat day out, meaning I stopped thinking of food as a cheat, I was able to find this healthier relationship with food. So I don't think about having cheat days. If I want to eat something like banana bread, which I wouldn't normally eat every single day, then I'll eat the goddamn banana bread. If I want cookies, I'll make some cookies. If I want brownies, I'll make some brownies. Nothing is a cheat day to me. It's just a food that I decided to eat right then. When I'm eating my most unhealthy, it's usually when I'm consuming drinks while on vacation. But I just don't see food as a cheat. It's a choice you made, and it shouldn't have this negative connotation around it. When I think of cheating, I think of a husband cheating or a wife cheating on their spouse, and that's pretty fucking gross. And I don't see food like that. So I don't think about cheat days. I just eat what I want when I want. Would you ever do your own workout app? Apps really suck. They're super fucking expensive, and then they crash every time iOS updates. So I don't know if I would ever do that. If I just have this huge lump sum of money just hanging out, just, somebody just handed it over to me, maybe. Do you take any supplements? The only thing I take on a regular basis that I'm really good, is collagen. I put collagen in my coffee every single day. Magnesium. I recently just got off birth control. No, I'm not trying to get pregnant. You crazy pregnant people out there. Not crazy pregnant people, but people who think I'm pregnant. I got off birth control because many, many reasons. And my friend was like, well, what are you doing to help with getting off birth control? I was like, nothing. She's like, you need to be on other things. And so she was telling me zinc and a couple other things. So I'm really bad at supplements. I don't do a pre-workout. I don't do a post-workout. I just eat food. But I know I need to get better about taking my other supplements. But collagen, girl, it's the only thing that ever made my hair grow. I love it so much. Do you ever question your food decisions and or make you feel weird for eating clean? Do people ever question your food decisions? Not anymore. I feel like people really did in the past because paleo wasn't as wide known as it is now, as well known as it is now. And so people don't really care about it now or question it. And they definitely did then. And I just didn't care because it was the choice I wanted to make. And it was most likely, their questioning me was most likely based on their own insecurities with the way they ate. So I just didn't give a shit. But luckily people don't ask anymore. Any plans for another cookbook? No. Let's see. Was it initially hard for you to control how many cookies or brownies, etc., that you ate when you were feeling like eating some sweets? Yes, but that was because I was addicted to sugar. So I know some things that I can't have. That if I had one Oreo, I would eat the entire box. Like Oreos are out of the question for me. I don't even go there. And there's other desserts like that I know I will not be able to stop. And so I just don't go there. But if you're feeling addicted to those sweets, it's just that addiction to sugar. So getting off the sugar is so important. And for me, it's cutting it cold turkey for sure. Let's see. Do you have any hesitations about people doing a keto diet? To each their own. I think that the keto diet can be construed a little bit and like used in a weird way. So, you'll see all these people who are just like cheese on cheese on cheese on cheese on one piece of broccoli on cheese. And it's like, they're like, I'm so keto. I'm like, get out of here. Just eat some vegetables, eat some starch sometimes, eat some protein. It's like, why do you got to make it so intense? People are so intense with diets. Just eat like a well-rounded plate. It's just simple. Do you eat differently when PMSing or at that time of the month? Usually I do. I usually just eat more. And I usually want more carbohydrates. How are you making money right now? I make money many different ways. I have advertising on my website. I work with companies for sponsorships. I use affiliate programs to make money, kind of all different ways. Okay, so those are my things about CrossFit. So here's the thing. If you haven't tried CrossFit, you totally fucking should, because it's amazing and it's life-changing and it changed my life in so many ways. I can't recommend it enough. It is so truly awesome and everybody should try it. Be safe, stay light, start light, stay light. Of course, go heavy as you get more confident and better at the movements. Listen to your body. Just because someone says CrossFit is dangerous doesn't mean it is. It means that their ego most likely got in the way, and I am an example of it. The only injuries I have are because of my own ego. And just know that you will meet amazing, amazing people at your CrossFit gym. Most of my wedding was people from my CrossFit gym. I just went to a wedding over the weekend that was all people from a CrossFit gym as this gym reunion. You're going to meet amazing people who are driven, who are excited every single day. You're going to wake up energized. You're going to feel excited. It's just fucking awesome. I love it so much. Just because I'm not doing it as much doesn't mean I don't absolutely love it and think it's one of the best things in the world. It's just, I love it so much. So go do it, especially if you're a woman out there. It is going to change your life. So I'm going to get out of here, but if you missed anything, you can listen to this. You can go back in my Instagram live and you can listen to this, or you can listen to it on Saturday on the blog. So I'm out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. You're awesome. I sweated so much through this t-shirt, so I'm going to go change. Oh, wait. Jackson's snoring. I can't wake him up. Next time. Here. Oh, God. Oh, God. He's so cute. Okay, bye.